Okay, we are live. Hello, we are live. She Rose in the Own Your Love Life dating group. This is Eileen, my amazing client. Eileen has been one of the most positive, energetic. She tries to find staircases whenever she travels to run up them to see where they lead. That's the kind of wonderful, bright, sunny spirit Eileen is. And it has been such a privilege to get to work with her. And I will just let you say hello, Eileen.
Hi, it's a pleasure seeing everybody.
It's great to have you here. So, to start off, tell us a little bit about why you decided to work with someone on dating. What was going on?
Okay, well, I had lost my husband about 3 years, 3.5 years prior. It was a really good marriage. He was an excellent man and very supportive, and I was at a loss. It's like, how do I navigate these new waters, this new world I'm crafting for myself? And I just didn't know where to begin, to be honest with you. And you hear about online dating, and I just didn't know how to approach it. And when I saw you and your program and decided to seek out more information, it was a perfect fit for me.
I am so glad. So, had you done any dating before we started working together online, or had you not really gone in?
I had not done any dating online. I went out a couple of times with somebody local.
Okay.
One of them was mainly as friends, but it just didn't seem comfortable and right.
Okay.
So, again, I was looking for how to make this better,
Okay.
and someone that would be perfect for me, or
Awesome.
close enough.
Awesome. I actually didn't know that you weren't dating before. That's really, really cool because you did a really good job once you got in the program and started doing the courses. So, why don't you talk a little bit about your experience once you joined and we started working together?
Okay, well, I was impressed right off the bat, to be honest with you, because I didn't quite know excuse me, what a dating coach does. I know I needed advice, and your program, it was perfect because it assumes we're all mature. We have valuable experience to bring to the table. But how do we tap into those, and how do we make them work for us?
Oh,
And one of the things I learned was I really need, as much as I knew myself fairly well, I really needed to do some deep reflection on who I was as a person, what qualities and traits that I think are important, how I want to live my life going forward, and then to find somebody who had those traits that meshed with me. And your program helped me really think deeply about those very, very important aspects of my life and everybody's
oh.
life. Actually.
Oh, that was so well put. I'm like, I'm going to be scribbling notes down later. Yeah, that's exactly what I tried to do in it is help get everyone get really clear because it's not like when you're 20 years old and your whole life's ahead of you and you're, oh, we could do this or we could do that. It's, we have options and you're still adventuresome, but there's a way you want to live your life and you don't want to waste time finding out if someone wants to live that same way.
Yes, exactly. And I think what's also important, like you had us come up with the three non-negotiable traits that we're looking in with somebody. Well, we're actually looking for, if we think those traits are important in another person, those are also the traits we should be emulating. We should be, source. How do I say this? Those are the traits that someone should see in us as well. Okay, so yeah, it's a big reflection on, you know what do I want another person to bring to the table, and I want them to be whole, Kelly. I mean, I want them to be emotionally mature. So therefore,
Yes.
I need to be, and I need to be confident in myself. And that's one of the things you brought out very, very well. And we're all beautiful. All right. We just need to tap into those inner strengths we have.
Absolutely, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. And sorry, I have a little thing going on there. Um, you are gorgeous, and you had this beautiful. I remember when we first started working together, and you told me about your relationship with your husband and the kind of man he was, and the father he was, and those are some big shoes to fill. Those are some big
They,
shoes to fill.
but that's one of the things also with your program is having the confidence to go forward and to know that there's somebody out there who's looking for you while you're looking for them.
Yes.
And therefore, if there's men there, and there's perfectly lovely men out there, They might not be the right fit for me, but they're going to be the right fit for somebody else. And I had the confidence, which your program brought out and nurtured and gave us the tools and the skills, but also in regard that if I meet these men and they're perfectly lovely, like I said, and but I know they're not right for me, I'm fine with, turning the page and findings and looking for somebody else because I know my worth, and I know that every time I encounter and have a a dating experience with somebody, interaction as we put it, it's only bringing me closer to that one person that's going to be right for me. And so I just took it as almost a sociological experiment that I thoroughly enjoyed. It gets exhausting at times, but I knew the more I met people and interacted with people, I saw those that I liked and saw those I thought I could mesh with, and we just came closer and closer to the one man that I think is wonderful for me. You know?
Yes, that's so exciting. Before I went, I kind of was like, should I ask about him now? But let's keep him on the back burner and just ask a little bit
Okay.
about when, because we worked together for a while. This isn't, I don't do this quick fix and get people in a relationship, just off the bat. Tell what it was like to have guys that were kind of good, but you realized they weren't your phenomenal fit and you needed to move on to. What was that process like?
Okay. Well, since we are opening of our hearts and our minds, uh, sometimes you make a decision um, just from chatting with them. Maybe one meeting over coffee. I did go out a few times with somebody 2 and 3 times, and then the second one, I was fairly sure that this wasn't the right guy for me. But I gave them the benefit of the doubt, and as you use the term Sherlocking,
Yeah,
so
it
I
was a
was
really
with
good experience.
very good experience and curious because maybe the third date they're going to say something that just clicks and says, "Oh, yeah, I can see myself with this person." But yeah, I would say by about the third date, and there weren't that many third dates because I was pretty discerning. But by the time the third date came around, I knew more or less if they were going to be somebody I wanted to see more, and and they weren't. So
Yeah.
there's always. So yeah, it worked out nice. So I'm not quite sure if I answered the question
No, you
about
did.
how it was.
You did. I have
Okay.
yeah, I have a follow-up question. How did you keep your mindset so strong? Some clients and some people, whether they're working with me or not, get really discouraged when it doesn't happen or they have to go through 3 or 4 or 10 or 20 different people. How did you keep your mindset so strong?
Okay. I guess you just gave me the confidence knowing that um, it- sometimes it's a numbers game. Okay. And I just felt that every time that I thought I was being with somebody or meeting somebody that was closer to what my ideal was. Now I know not everybody's perfect. I've got flaws as well, but it's a feeling, a comfort level with somebody. And they might be perfect on paper and they might look good, and
Yeah.
but it's like we have on one of the things, so I'm going to backtrack just a bit. One of the things you had us do was this beautiful vision. Okay,
Yeah.
how we mesh with that ideal person on a daily basis, a seasonal basis, and so part of that mindset and keeping strong was, can I see myself with this person on more than just 3 hours at a time or 2 hours at a time? What would they be like if I really was going to interact with them more? And I just knew the right person was out there, and I just never got discouraged. I don't know. He gave us the confidence, and I just knew it was going to work out. You know.
Oh, I am so glad. I am so glad. And Eileen was awesome. She was so coachable. And it took a while. I was actually surprised. Eileen's really confident. As you can see, she's gorgeous. So it's we didn't have anything to overcome with insecurity. She feels confident about herself. She was a widow, so she knew what it felt like to be treated well. Sometimes I work with clients that haven't had a good relationship and we have to do some background work to get them to a place where they can even recognize what a good relationship would feel like. So I didn't have to do any of that, but it took a little while. But amazingly, over COVID, Eileen found her phenomenal fit person. So tell us a little bit about that, Eileen.
I know, isn't that
So
amazing?
crazy.
Well, we spent many days and only daylight days outside. with with heaters, okay, either at a restaurant, or he actually bought the tall propane heaters, and when we
Oh,
sat
so you could.
outside.
That's fun.
Because I also with am with my family and two granddaughters, and we were all mindful of not bringing anything into the house,
Right.
and mindful of our interactions. So his name is Bo, and we met for a drink, outside, late afternoon, and again there was a comfort level. From the get-go, and one of my must-haves is a good sense of humor, okay, and a whimsical way of looking at the world. And I had made a quip or something. I mean, really innocent, and just kind of sweet. And he laughed with this genuine laugh, like he didn't see it coming. But oh my God, isn't that delightful? And that was it. It was like, oh, okay, this is someone who's and he was kind, but that laugh and that a smile, okay, really was disarming, and there was that comfort level really from even the first date. So, and he was persistent. I mean, he wasn't going to let this first date end without a second date. So,
Yes, he
and
really
so
showed
instead of
up for you. One thing that I
he
said
did,
to Eileen and I say to my clients is the guy that's the right fit for you is looking for you just as hard as you're looking for him. And that was so true with Bo.
it was, it is, it was, it is, and one of the things you also say during the program and also now at the graduate level is that. I mean, he just lights up. You asked me one time, what do I like about him? Oh my gosh. I mean, the man's in seventh heaven the minute I come into view, and like, how do you
Oh,
not like
I
so
know.
all the things, and he knows. And one of the things he says, I like that you're a strong woman, and that does not, threaten him in one way, shape, or form. And he just appreciates. I feel cherished and loved, and all of the adjectives. And yeah, he's enamored, and so am I. He's
Oh, I
wonderful.
love it. And he's fit really well into your family and you into his. You've been meeting.
Yes,
That's
yeah,
great.
yeah. Yeah, you can't, you never know how your children or adult children are going to turn out, or what your relationship's going to be. You hope you built a strong foundation when they were younger. And one of the nice to haves was someone who has a functional family and
Yeah.
gets along, and he's got two adult children and a great relationship with them. So, I'm lucky in that respect. I think the families are all going to mesh together very nicely once COVID is even a less of a threat than it is now, and everybody gets together, so it's going to be nice.
That is so
Yeah.
fantastic. Okay, tell me what the hardest thing as you were going through the learning curve and the dating process. What was hard for you?
um I What was hard, I was thinking about earlier, before we got on here. One of the things you have us do is go through this body language, I think, our states.
Mm-hmm.
And since I was with a husband who was supportive and loving, and I mean, you all have your ups and downs, but really not sarcastic or anything like that. Learning, like, I might encounter men who obviously don't have my best interest at heart, or maybe have their own baggage they brought, to the experience. And how am I going to my body language? How am I going to convey to them without having a confrontation? Because of course, no one wants that. You're trying to keep your mind open. But how can I subtly convey that? No, 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 you don't say something like that to me, or something. And that was probably one of the hardest things for me to, like, say, okay, there might be a time when things aren't perfect, and it's not going well. How can you convey that, without, how do I say this? You want someone to save face, okay? So, however their encounter is going, you still wanted to leave it positively. So I didn't really want to verbally say anything that was caustic, but I wanted to get my point across that, no, that's not what you do with me, or say with me.
I
So
love
I
that.
think that was one of the hardest things, is for
Wow.
us to, yeah, that part of your program. I thought that was difficult for me,
I can see that
to
because
put my.
you're so pleasant and pleasing to be around, and it's one of your personal traits that you want to make everyone feel comfortable and loved and accepted. So dating for a personality type like you can be really really tricky because someone like Eileen, without the skills that she's talking about, like giving the body language, being able to give signals, move people out of her life, she could get in a relationship with someone that she doesn't really want to be in, but if they're a good person, or she's like, oh, I'll just I'll tell them I don't like this or whatever. It could really have weighed her down, but that's not what happened. She was really good and really clear.
Yeah. And and I think that's a good point. You showed us and taught us that you really need to be clear first with yourself.
Yeah,
Then you can be clear with, you
that's
know,
yeah,
and
that's it.
and that filters out a lot of potential bad dates or poor encounters.
Absolutely.
So yeah. So those oh, I don't know, those encounters that probably weren't comfortable, they were far and few between because they were weeded out prior.
Yeah, and Eileen was really, really good at figuring out. I teach a program where texting, phone calls we're using to weed out, and Eileen was really good. She's so positive and such an uplifting person. You know, you've got to be in top 10% of like go getter and positivity. So it was helpful because it was easy to see when somebody was a little bit negative or not as upbeat. And so Eileen was able to figure that out. But even with the men that she went out with, I remember you were really clear in a way that might have been difficult to be before.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, but all for the better, and that's
Absolutely. Because they're not in a relationship with you and wasting time, and you're not wasting time as well. So well done.
thank you. There's one more thing about one of the things that you clarified is that there is somebody out there, like I said, that's a good fit for you. And
Yes.
the ones who, it doesn't mean there's something wrong with them. It just means that they're not right for you. And that was a wonderful mindset to have because I didn't have a thin skin. Okay. I didn't take everything to heart. All I could think of is someone's going to really find you attractive and, comforting and wonderful. It's not me, but really going to like you. And so it was easy to turn the page. And, I remember this is such a funny expression, but I remember telling you, well, I'm online and this guy seems really nice. I don't really want to date him, but it seems like I could have a great conversation with him. It just seems like it would be, a nice encounter. And you said to me, Eileen, you can't play with all the puppies. Do you remember that?
Yes, I've forgotten, but now I do.
No, because it's like, oh, that's right. I mean, just because they're nice doesn't mean I need to engage with them because ultimately this is dating. I mean, you're
Yes.
trying to find, okay. And I mean, yes, we can have lots of friends, but ultimately, if they're online and they have a profile and they're dating, they don't, we're not playing with puppies.
Yeah, we're
We're
not
trying to
we're not trying to be
find,
nice. We're not the snuggling them, put them down. And you
yes,
have friends in your life. People at our age group, we're not looking as much to expand our friendship sphere. We want to find someone
true.
that, we go to their sphere, we go to ours, but we're not looking to build on ours. We've got decades long relationships. You're a wonderful human being and people love being your friend. You didn't need more friends.
True, true. And that, so how do you keep your mindset? That's always part of it, knowing that, yeah, there's some lots of good ones you're going to walk away from because they're just not right for you,
Awesome.
and
Awesome.
make it right for me.
Right.
Okay. Because
Yeah.
literally whether it's good for you or not. Okay. And that's part of the confidence you give us and tools that you really know that this person isn't right for you, but they still can be perfectly lovely. But I have to put them down. As cute as
Yeah.
they are. They're
Yeah. Well, no, and that's the hardest thing when I work with clients that have been in a relationship with someone good, or I've seen clients when I was a therapist or friends. You get two people that are good people, and they sometimes stay in a relationship longer than they should be, and they're both not happy. Maybe one of them's really adventuresome, and the other one really likes movies and staying at home. So they're never doing the stuff that they really want to do, but they're really good people. And most people only leave relationships when they make the other person the jerk, and so then you
yes,
get this situation where you're having to find reasons to break up with someone. So what I do is try to make it really clear for everyone, here's what you want and what will make you happy. And if you don't date that, you're not going to be happy in this relationship. So let's not do it for 2 weeks or 2 months or 2 years. Let's just keep it from happening, even if they're a great person. So for everyone listening to this broadcast, if you're a woman, there's no rejection. It's just finding your phenomenal fit partner. It has nothing personal. It's that there's got to be the right person for you. You're still a great person, even if the people you've been trying to connect with online aren't reaching out to you. That still doesn't mean that you're not an amazing catch.
Yeah, yeah. That's what we
I
taught
mean,
us.
look at
And
Eileen. Look how gorgeous she is, and how fun and how positive. And it took a little while. I've told Eileen this. It took longer than I expected to, and of course, COVID happened a little bit into it. But I'm so thrilled. Everything Eileen has told me about Bo. He's a really great person. Number one. Number
yeah,
two, he's a
yeah,
really great fit for her. Eileen lights up when the people she loves come into the room, and so to have someone that reciprocates that feeds her
right.
soul, that gives her what she needs to feel loved and connected.
Exactly, exactly. Because if you have to turn yourself inside out for somebody, or put off parts of your personality, that's not going to work. So,
Absolutely.
yeah, you have to get a soulmate, or yeah, someone who
Yeah.
just your soul to home with, and yeah. So
Absolutely.
I'm very fortunate and very happy, and yes, definitely, you gave me the confidence and the tools to go forward, and it worked out beautifully. So thank
I
you.
am so, so pleased. Is there anything else you want to say, my dear, dear Eileen?
No, except that the ongoing program also helps. Like I
Oh, yeah,
mentioned.
the
Oh,
graduate. Yeah, because when people
so
invest in me, we work together forever. I don't want everybody getting out of relationships because they lack the tools and then having to date and get back in. I want everyone's relationship to succeed.
right, right, and things as relationships evolve, and I don't, and issues come up. You have to always revert back to staying curious and not jumping to conclusions and everything like that. So yeah, it's don't take things as on the surface. See if there's a problem, you need to dig a little deeper, a lot deeper sometimes. But yeah, so I like the ongoing support. Thank you.
Oh.
Thank you.
Well, it's been awesome to have you as part of the ongoing support. You've been a delight. You show up and just bring so much to our group. Thank you, Eileen.
Thank you, Kelly.
All right. Is there anything else you want to say before we sign off?
I'm good. I'm
You
really good.
are good. You are so good. Thank you so much for doing this. I appreciate it so much, Eileen, and I am just so beyond delighted for you.
My
I've
pleasure.
loved hearing the happiness in your voice and hearing you describe what your interactions with Bo are like, and it's just perfect. It's perfect, and it's perfect for you, and that's the most important thing.
That's the most important thing. Thank you. Yes.
All right. I'll talk to you the next time we have our graduate call. And to everyone else, goodbye. And comment in the Facebook page, or go to ownyourlovelife.com and see if it's a fit for us to work together. Thank you so much, Eileen.
Thanks, Kelly.